everybody. It's Professor Malat. I hope you are enjoying the beautiful, almost fallish weather that we're having. I am really loving having my windows open again. It got really cold overnight. The house was freezing in the morning, but the days are nice and warm and mild, and I'm absolutely loving it. So this week, week 5, we are officially 1/3 of the way through the semester. And this is when you're be finalizing your first formal essay, the literacy narrative. So we've been working in previous weeks, bringing something different to the table when it comes to being readers and writers. You might not feel confident yet writing something that will be read by another person. I know that takes a lot of trust, but I promise I will be a gentle reader and a gentle grader. This first essay is a way to introduce yourself to me, to let me know a little bit about what your strengths and weaknesses are as a reader and as a writer and as a student. And that will help me to customize the course and present information for you that you really need in order to learn and grow. The other thing I'm asking you to take a moment is to reflect upon this most recent writing experience of the literacy narrative, documenting your experiences in this week's journal prompt, the writer's memo. If you have not yet written the essay, I don't want you to write the writer's memo. The writer's memo all pertains to what you did in writing the essay. So if you haven't written the essay yet, then you're going to have to wait on the writer's memo as well. It's okay if you take a few days to get it done. Try not to get too far behind, because as we progress through the semester, we're going to kind of pick up the pace a bit. I know it's been kind of easy up until now. So, just try to do your best. Don't panic too much. If you need help writing, there are people available to help you. It's all going to be fine. So the writer's memo, this is a good way for you to reflect upon your writing, not only to process what's already been taken place, but also so we can look to the future and make adjustments as needed. So this week, we're going to practice writing as a process that includes generating ideas, text, drafting, revising, editing. Apply that in understanding and recognition to produce successive drafts of increasing quality. Last week, you did a little bit of brainstorming and pre-writing, and this week you're doing the drafting and probably a little bit of revising and editing. Remember, you will also learn to employ appropriate conventions for structure, paragraphs, mechanics, formatting, apply appropriate conventions for syntax, grammar, punctuation, and spelling. And lastly, you will also be learning a bit about MLA style and formatting. I have a few things for you to read. I have a couple of documents. No, these are videos. They need to go elsewhere. I have a document that tells you about MLA format guidelines from Purdue OWL. And then I have a couple of readings on reflective thinking and reflection as academic work from the University of Mississippi Rhett Lab. So I took a minute to actually correct my mistake there, putting videos in the reading section. So read those couple of things so you understand a little bit more what my goal is with the writer's memo, the journal for this week. For the videos of this week, what I want you to watch, obviously you're watching this overview video. There's also a couple of videos that will help you with MLA formatting in both Microsoft Word and in Google Docs. If you compose in something other than those two, I can't really help you. I know some people are Mac users and they have Pages. I can't help you with formatting there because I don't have a Mac computer, and so that's like a whole new world for me. I also have a short video, it's about 10 minutes long, on the idea of the angle of vision. This will help you to understand a little bit more about what we're trying to achieve with the literacy narrative. So I highly recommend you watch that. And then we have a video also talking a little bit about reflective writing, and why that's important. I can't remember if that's one I did or not. The assignments for this week, you only have two things. It's all writing. There's no grammar or anything else, no discussion boards. We just have essay number 1, which I want you to write first, and then journal number 4, which is the writer's memo. Let's take a minute to look at the writer's memo so you understand a little bit more what that is all about. This is a place for you to reflect on your own writing. It provides a space for you to explain why you approached the assignment the way you did, to make note of what you did well in the assignment, and to indicate where you might like some constructive criticism. There's no one right way to do this. You see a list of questions. You can do it in question and answer format if that's easier, but you could also write it in a kind of a narrative style, right? A paragraph. The fundamental purpose of this assignment is to help you to reflect on your writing. It can also be a way for you to communicate with your primary audience, namely your teacher. We're not doing peer review, so peers aren't really applicable, but a way for you to communicate with me so I can provide you with the necessary feedback that can help you to revise and improve your writing. As I said, there's a list of questions that you can do in question and answer format, but you don't have to. You could instead compose a letter to an intended reader, Dear Professor Malat. Or you could approach your memo as a movie review. You could even give yourself a grade and justify why you think you deserve such a grade with examples from your writing. I'd like you to try to write a minimum of 1 page using paragraphs to indicate each new thought or argument. If you don't do the question and answer style, you're more than welcome to copy those questions into a document. You can do text entry or file upload. And mainly hit the points, right? What's the purpose of your essay? Who is your audience and why? What did you do well in the essay? What could you improve upon? What part was the easiest to write? Which one was most difficult? What sentence or paragraph do you think is most effective and why? What sentence do you find least effective and why? And then I'd like to know, did you write your paper all at once or did it come together in pieces? Is there anything that you want the reader to look for or anything you might need help with? What have you learned through writing this paper? Hopefully you've learned a little bit of something about yourself, right? And how have your feelings about this sort of topic changed through writing? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. There is a rubric for this. It's worth 25 points. Making sure you compose at least 1 page, you get 3 points for that. Questions. Students addressed all questions above or opted for an alternative approach, which touches on nearly all of those points. And of course, I want you to be cognizant of audience, right? To show that you have a little bit of awareness of audience. You're writing with an audience in mind, perhaps something besides me, but this is the first writer's memo that we are working with. So of course I will also be pretty lenient with the grading on this. So minimum of 1 page, that's probably about 200 words or so if you choose to do the text entry instead of a file upload. That's usually about 250 words. So 250 words to show me that you have thought about things and that you've thought about your process, you've reflected on your writing process. Of course, as I said before, this is best done after you have written the essay. If you try to do it beforehand, it's going to look like a snow job, first of all. But secondly, you might not adequately answer all the questions that need to be answered, right? So it's best for you, from a grade perspective, to hold off on this writer's memo until after you have written the essay. Okay. Let's go back to the module here. And at the bottom, I have a note. If you're having problems with any part of the writing process, it could be generating ideas, creating paragraphs, working on mechanics, grammar, that kind of stuff. You can schedule time to work with a writing tutor through the UC Learning Commons. I'll open up the link here. The Learning Commons is a free support service where you can work with a professional tutor who will help you. So you can schedule a service, you can work online if you are primarily online, especially if you are taking this course and you're actually nowhere near Cincinnati or near Claremont. You can schedule to meet online, do a virtual meeting with them. It can be done through email and that kind of thing. If you are a Claremont student and you are occasionally on campus, you can go and see the people in the Learning Commons at the library. They're now housed on the second floor of the library in the Edith Peters Jones building. So, you can always drop in and talk to somebody there and maybe schedule an appointment face to face if that is more comfortable for you. But all of the contact information for the UC Claremont Learning Commons is here on this page. And if you're associated with another campus, you can also look at the Academic Writing Center page. And schedule an appointment that way. Submit your work for feedback. You can read about the AWC tutors and learn more about the services that they have for students there. I say this just because I don't want you to feel like you're all alone, right? We don't have opportunities to meet face to face. I don't have any set office hours, although my availability is pretty open on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Weekends are kind of iffy. And I teach on campus on Tuesday and Thursday. So if for some reason you are on campus and you want to talk to me, I teach from 11 to 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am in the Westwood Academic Center. I can't remember my classroom number. It's all the way down at the end of the hall, and it's the first door on the left. So you're welcome to drop in if you're free then and say, ask me some questions if you happen to be on campus. It's always wonderful to meet with students. So, if you're on campus and you're just taking this course, virtually, you can always drop in and just introduce yourself, say, hey, I just wanted to say hello. I'm happy to meet students. It's just, I'm busy sometimes. So coming in before class is usually helpful. I don't have a ton of time after class because I need to skedaddle back home to get my son. Gosh, I can't wait until he has his license. Get my son to where he needs to go after school because he has all sorts of after school sports activities and he needs to be shuttled to and fro. So yeah, that is all for this week. So remember, do your literacy narrative, watch the videos to help you clarify some of these things, write your literacy narrative. And after you have written the literacy narrative, please then write about the writer's memo. Everything is due Sunday, the 24th. If you're running into some trouble and you need a little extra time, please reach out to me, email me and say, hey, I need an extension. I don't need to know the details, whether you were sick or traveling or what, it doesn't really matter. But it is a courtesy to reach out to me and say, and ask for an extension. I'm happy to grant it. I just don't want you to get so far behind that things start to snowball as we approach the middle of the semester in a few weeks. Because believe me, folks, it does go quickly after this. Experience has shown that students really start to, as we all pick up speed and approach midterms, you have all sorts of things coming at you, and it can be stressful. So it's really good to learn how to manage your time. And if you need an extension, to reach out and request it. I'm happy to honor those requests. All right. Good luck, everybody. And again, I look forward to reading your writing. Take care.